What tools do you need to skip trace for real estate investing? So you've probably heard a lot about this skip tracing stuff. I know some people think it means hiring a private investigator or some shady guy that goes off and tries to find people's information. Trust me, that's not it at all. And yes, it is an essential tool for real estate investing. Let's talk about it. Okay, first off, what is skip tracing? Well, skip tracing is finding somebody's whereabouts. Where have they gone to? Where have they gone from place to place to place? You're skipping through trying to find what those things are. What is basically happening is in the olden days, you used to have a private investigator that did go and find out where this information was. Now, the private investigator was using publicly available data, but that data was not very accessible. It was available, but not very accessible because you had to go to the county recorders, or you had to go and ask for information to be released, or you had to go and do a variety of different things to make that happen. Now, those days are all but over because of the internet and the availability of information and the accessibility of information. Now, with that information accessible, what happens? Well, when you hit the button to do a skip trace, the computer system looks at all different things like credit information, applications, anything that's public, court information, phone numbers that come from there, anything that's publicly available information. And you'd be surprised, there is a lot of publicly available information. I don't know if this has happened to you before when you're trying to do like an e-signature for your taxes or something, where it actually pops up and says, where does so-and-so live? Where is this street address? What companies have you been associated with? And they ask you these questions, and you've got to pass those before it'll allow you to actually do a signature. Now, sometimes you're like, are you kidding me? I can't even remember how much that is. Like, for example, it'll say, how much was your mortgage payment on 123 Main Street? Between 500 and 600, between 700 and 800. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I owned 35 houses at that time. How am I ever supposed to remember how much that property was? And it was 10 years ago, and I currently don't own it. So I get really frustrated by those things. And the point of this is that information is publicly available. That publicly available data, it can be searched. And one of the tools that I like to use to search that information is Investor's Edge. Here's something you just have to realize though. If you are doing a skip trace, you are going to get a lot of information that is not the correct information. And here's why. If I have a phone number and I change my phone number and then I get a new phone number or I move, when I do a skip trace, 3 different phone numbers may show up. Now, one of those may be the true phone number and the others may be old phone numbers. So it's going to get you the best available information for what is there. That's one thing to consider. Also, when you're doing a skip trace, it's trying to get you a cell phone number, it's trying to get you home phone numbers, landlines, and it's trying to get you email addresses. The goal is to get all 3 of those and get the best available information. If there is no information that can come up on this individual, then you're not going to get charged for it if you're working with a reputable skip tracing company. Now, lots of skip tracing companies want you to buy minimum orders, or they want to have a monthly fee for that. I don't recommend that. I like to use Investor's Edge, where I just pay for the cost of each skip trace, which is somewhere between 12 to 15 cents, which is pretty inexpensive. Think of this. You could be sitting outside of a property that you've been doing some driving for dollars, see the property, hit the button for the skip trace, and within 30 seconds have phone numbers so you can call each one of those and say, hey, do you have any interest in selling your house? And they may say, yes, I do. And then you could say, do you mind if I come by and take a look at it? When would be a great time? Skip tracing is essential. I think it's something you need to have in your arsenal. It should be in your tool bag. If you are interested in how I repeatedly find motivated sellers for fix and flips, I put a video together. I go through the first steps in getting into real estate investing. I go through, if you can't find sellers, you're not a real investor. And I show you how I target the right properties with the right owners over and over again. Check out this video and make it a very profitable day.